welcome to or welcome back to No Pants Profits. My name is Richard and I'm coming to you from the Carnival Miracle today, but it is kind of more important specifically where in the world I am. I am coming to you, this is important, at 1:12 p.m. on Wednesday, September 16th, 2024, in the exact middle of the Pacific Ocean. What I mean by that, we're directly between California and Hawaii, which is where we're headed. And I've got a new little friend. Now, again, I want to show you kind of exactly where we are. What I'm doing is I'm going to be showing you on my phone screen, digitally, because it's a little bright out here, exactly where we are. But we are exactly between the midpoint between Hawaii and San Francisco. Right there. Now, what are we here today to talk about? Cruise ship internet. So this is a 15-night cruise on the Carnival Miracle. It's from San Francisco to Hawaii and back via Mexico. And one of the important things is a lot of people cannot deal without internet for 15 days or even 5 days. We've got 5 sea days there, 4 sea days back to Mexico, and then another sea day after that. So they'll buy internet on the ship. Now, to buy internet for this entire cruise is over $300. But there may be a better way. This is the most opportune cruise shown in. I'll tell you, I'm going to cut to myself real quick about 5 minutes ago in the sports bar where there was no service. So just to show you how remote we are, there is no signal on any of the TVs in the sports bar. So we can't get ESPN or anything like that. So this is what we're dealing with when we're going to be doing this internet test in a little bit. No signal. And now, let's talk about what we want to talk about. Starlink Mini. You'll see those balls up there used to contain satellite dishes in it. Now they have a standard install on a cruise ship is 12 Starlink dishes. But again, like I said, it is over $300 to get internet on this 15-night cruise in their premium package. But this may be an option too. Now we are here right now out by the pool. Not gonna lie, why are we out by the pool? Because for this first test, I want to give it the biggest chance of success. Now, one of the things that's not out by the pool are power outlets. But here's where this gets cool. This Starlink Mini, unlike the Starlinks that come before it, can actually be powered by DC power. Not AC power, but by these little DC barrel connectors. And then I've got an Anchor battery pack, which I've done a review of before. These are the highest end Anchor battery packs. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in this Anchor battery pack right here. Ooh. Okay. Got that plugged into the battery pack. And then once I've got that plugged in the battery pack, I'm going to plug the other end into the little barrel connector on the satellite dish. So I'm going to do this in real time so you can see just how long it takes to get up and running. Again, I'm just from the battery right there to the satellite dish. Now we take the dish. Now, you have to point the dish northward. To the north. Now the app will help you with that. I'm going to do this all in real time. We'll talk about money and all that in a minute. But the real question is, does it work? But I will tell you, on a per month basis, it's cheaper than the internet is for 15 days on this ship. And you can pause it whenever you want. So we're going to go to the Compass app. And if I'm looking where the dish is pointing right now, that is southwest. That ain't gonna do me no good. Now, before we get into repositioning, I'm gonna let it needs to go north, which is this way. So just kind of help the satellite dish out a bit. I'm gonna take the dish and point it north. It's got a little kickstand on it, so it gets it propped up. It is currently using, it's very, very hard to see. It is currently using 14 watts of power to get going, but you see I've lined up north and north. Now, before we switch over to the dish, I do want to show you the current speed of the internet on the ship. And this is with a network called Legit Free Wi-Fi. I'll explain what that is. I'm connected to Carnival's Wi-Fi on this phone, and then I'm bouncing it off into my iPhone. Ta-da! That's how it works. But I'm going to go, this is Carnival's network. We're connecting right now. Again, I'm going to show you this on the screen. I'm leaving room. 98 millisecond ping. This is technically using Starlink. And like I said, we are in the absolute middle of nowhere, like I showed you on the map. I'm getting 3.5 megs down. I have the top package, the premium full cruise pre-sale, got a little bit for buying it before, but 3.75 megs down by 2 megs up. Now, just for efficiency's sake, I'll do it one more time. So yeah, 3.57 down, 3.75, sorry, I had dyslexia for a minute. 3.75 down by 3.83 up. Wow, the up is stronger than the down. Again, we're out on the pool deck, just trying to compare. Yeah, all right. So let's let that finish, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch over and I'm gonna show you Starlink. Now, it's gonna show me how to align the dish and everything like that. And don't worry, I'm going to answer your question later about does it work in the cabin. But while this is running, let's talk about the cost. The cost of the dish, as of right now, September 2024, $5.99. Plus tax, plus shipping, plus all those other things like that. And the service starts, if you want this dish, we'll talk about the ocean use in a minute. The service starts at $50 a month. If you want it used all over, it's $165 a month. And if you want to use it on the ocean, it's $250 a month on top of the hardware. But again, we got 3.16 by 3.81. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my Starlink dish, which I call Work From Anywhere. And I'm going to open up the Starlink app. Now, it says online, but let's go ahead. We're going to click on alignment. Oh, we got it almost exactly right. So you'll see what's on the screen, and I just need to adjust it a little bit. There we go. Perfectly north. So, here's the question. What do we get on that exact same speed test with our own dish on the pool deck? It says Carnival. It's not Carnival. Let's see. Oh, look. 127. 119. We are in the middle of nowhere. We're where ESPN has no signal. We are in the most remote, uninhabited location in the world, I think. And I'm getting 123 down by 26 up. Now again, I know what those of you are saying. Does it work in the cabin? And furthermore, does it work in the casino? Well, I might have an idea on that, but we'll mesh around a little bit later. But I do want to go ahead and I want to visit the cabin and see if we can get it up and running in the cabin. I did successfully do this earlier in the day. If I can't successfully do it now, then I will show you the clip from earlier in the day. But I'm going to try and do it live. So it's again, I'm going to do one more speed test so you can see. But oh, no worries. Do one more speed test so you can see. Yep, see, we're creeping up. It says Carnival Cruise Line, but I promise you that is the Starlink one. Let's make it actually say Starlink. Again, Carnival is Starlink. I think that's the important thing to understand. But here, let's get it to actually identify. There we go. Finding provider. SpaceX Starlink directly. All right. Just so you can see what this is. And yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm getting 140 megs down. Now, important, when you are more than 12 miles out to sea, e.g., when the casino can be open, you have a limited bucket of data that is limited to 50 gigs. I have not gone over it or anything like that, but it's limited to 50 gigs. But you have unlimited when you're within 12 miles of the coast or on land. And you can see this is more than small enough to pack up. I got that battery. The secret is, working normally, it's going to take about 5 hours that the Starlink will last on battery. But here's what we're going to do now. We're going to go down to the cabin. Let's see if there's anything else useful here. I can see obstructions. Yep, so look, this is kind of cool. I can see where it's actually obstructed, and it builds an obstruction map. Fortunately, it has a perfectly clear view where it needs to go, which is to the left of those balls right there. You'll see this is a perspective of where it needs to go. There's the dish. You have a fully digital, but it will build up an area that it has of blockages, like the ball itself, like if the ship moves, different things like that. It will build up a red map. But here's what I want to do. I want to jump to the cabin right now and ask that question. Can it work from your cabin? It has worked from the cabin before, but it's a little tricky to do. So I'm going to go give it a try. You see this linked up within like 3 minutes. But can it work from the cabin? You ask a good question, my friends. Also, there is no router or anything like that. I forgot to say, the router is actually built into the unit. So as soon as it's powered up, you've got the router, you've got the modem, and you've got the dish itself. You can connect to 100 devices to it. I don't know why you would want to do that, but I think it's time to jump in the cabin, talk about pricing, and see if we can get it to work from the balcony. And the way I got it to work earlier is a little bit counterintuitive, and it's not going to come up right away. So stay tuned. I'm going to jump down to the cabin. There's going to be plenty more videos on this, and I have an idea of how to make it work all over the ship, but I don't know if I'm going to share that in public yet. Stay tuned. All right, I know I did it on the pool deck, and what are you all yelling? I don't want to go to the pool deck every time I want to hit the internet. You're right. And the question is, does it work on the balcony? And the first day, I thought no. But guess what? It totally does work on the balcony. Now I want to talk about where we are. Number one, there's the dish on the balcony. You can run it on a battery like I was at the pool, but I forgot it does come with a 50-foot cable, which I have run. Now remember though, you're going to want a power strip because, hold on, I don't even know how to light up this desk. You're going to want a power strip because a lot of cruise ships have a single 120 volt outlet. So I have a 240 to 120. This is the Starlink. Right here is the Starlink unit. Here's a bundle of cables, and we're going outside. All right, we're out here on a balcony. Let's talk about where we are. Oh God, where the hell are we? Well, we are in the exact middle of nowhere, just like we were upstairs. I'll pull up a map in a second so you can see. But this is the satellite dish. And this satellite dish right here, this little Starlinky dish, should be pointed north. I have it on a little table right here. Again, I'll show you kind of where we are. We are directly in between. I'm going to put this in a screen recording too. We're directly in between the middle point between California and Hawaii. Here's the thing though, I need you to understand perspective. The dish, this is the part of the dish, the white, is actually pointed at the ship and shooting through the ship. I know it's a little weird. Alright, so here's what happens. When you open the Starlink app for the first time, it's going to do, well, I'm not connected to the right network. I do have two networks. I have the ship network and I have a Starlink network going on at the same time right here. So I call my Starlink network work from anywhere. And if I open up my Starlink network, it should say, I'm online. Give it a second. There we go. Searching for satellites. I can look at the statistics. I can see how much it's been up, how much it's been down, how much it's been left, how much it's been right, everything to that sort. I can see how many devices are connected, but the thing I want to look at is alignment. So it determines the orientation, and what it determined is it said, much like on the pool deck, it gave me the way to point it, and it said point it towards the damn wall. And I said, what you talking about, Willis? But believe it or not, the speed test is actually quite good. Now, it takes about 15 minutes for it to stabilize. Unlike the pool deck where it comes up automatically, it's good. Now also, if the orientation fails, you may have to actually come out here and change the orientation. That's just kind of the way things work. But I can see I'm connected to SpaceX Starlink right now. It takes a minute sometimes, but this is the correct orientation, because what you want to do is you want to open up your compass app and point it to the north. So that's due north, and then that's the face, and believe it or not, it is actually working, shooting through the ship. It's crazy. I know. Do you have to mount it or anything like that? It doesn't seem like you have to mount it. It does take 15 to 20 minutes to get a signal, and you can run it off battery packs like I did upstairs. But those battery packs, the Anchor battery packs, the 100 watt-hour battery packs last about 5 hours. So you'll be a little bit more beneficial, I got in the dark, a little bit more beneficial doing the cord. But just remember, today, I can't leave it out all day because it's balcony cleaning day. So yes, it does actually work in your balcony, but a lot more of an intermittent way than working on the pool deck. Now, I'm going to use it for the rest of this cruise. I'll give you an update after the cruise. And I do have that limitation of the 50 gigs that we either talked about before or we're talking about now. But yeah, it's interesting. A lot more reliable on the pool deck, but obviously you have a full view of the sky. If you have an aft balcony or something like that, something funky, maybe a Central Park balcony on Oasis or Allure or any of those like that, your mileage may vary, but just literally hanging out here, pointing towards the ship, it's actually friggin' working, which is crazy. So I realized that in the last clip I didn't really get to show you a lot of the speed tests and stuff like that. This is actually from earlier in the day. This is the Starlink speed test itself. And what's cool is you'll see it goes online, offline. That's just kind of it connecting. But I'm going to show you from the perspective of this is the device that is connected to the camera. So I'm going to open up the camera on this device. You can see this is from the cabin, pointed at the door, slightly earlier this morning. 109 megabits down. It's not actually showing the up, but I think I do go back to the other one so you can kind of see. But yeah, this is pointed at the wall. You'll see this is the speed test and the camera from the same phone. I didn't use my fancy camera or anything like that. And if I open back up a traditional speed test, you can see the thing is it does take a little bit of time for it to kind of substantiate in the cabin. So you'll see it's SpaceX Starlink. It's not identifying as Carnival Cruise Line. It's identifying as SpaceX Starlink, and you can see we've got that, you know, almost 100 meg a second down compared to 3 megs a second we were getting up on the pool deck with the Carnival system, which cost actually, believe it or not, more money. So this is literally, it sounds insane that it's pointing at a wall, but it is literally pointing at a wall right here, and it is totally, honestly, truthfully working. And I think it's just absolute batshit cuckoo pups that as we're moving along, pointed at the wall right here. Again, I took this from the phone this morning, that you can actually get a speed test, and you'll see this is where we are/were directly right in the middle of nowhere. I've got another clip I'm going to show you in a minute of this actually working from the cabin before I wrap it up. Yeah, let's let Google load up where we are in the Pacific Ocean, going towards Hawaii from San Francisco in the absolute midpoint of this Trans-Pacific cruise. And yes, believe it or not, even when they're cleaning the balconies, which they're about to do, all the doors are unlocked, still works. Sitting on the bed. I don't understand how the hell it's getting through the layers of the ship, but somehow it is. Again, I'm on an older ship. I'm on a ship that was built in 2000-ish, so you know, if you're on Oasis or something like that, it might be different. I'm on the Carnival Miracle, just FYI. All right, so yeah, it's been a little bit later. It's taken about 25 minutes, and we are chugging along. Again, this makes no sense that it's pointed this way. I've talked to some people that know the satellite world, and they say it might be like triple bouncing off the wall. But again, it also worked when it was sitting in the bed here before. I have made a personal decision that I have come up with a way to get Starlink all over the ship. But I am going to do not share how I'm doing it. Remember, do not share. If you're an IT person, that'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. I might be taking a bridge to do not share from one network to another and doing a personalized do not share server between them. Here's the wrap up. Is it a bit clunky to use in your cabin, on the balcony, and especially if you are going in the wrong direction? Yeah, it is. What I mean by the wrong direction is if the ship was pointed the other way, well, I can just flip this dish 180 degrees around, and hey, look, it's pointed north. The problem is that is pointed south. That would be opportune. Well, we're headed back from Hawaii to California. It is going to be glorious. So, you know, if you want to try this to yourself, your mileage may vary. In an X-ray machine, honestly, I think the expression is we need banana for scale. I don't have a banana, but I have a MacBook Air. So let me grab a MacBook Air. MacBook Air for scale. MacBook Air for scale. Here's MacBook Air. Ta-da. 20, so it's an M2 MacBook Air for scale. And just to show you, I mean, technically, it's about the size of an M2 MacBook Air. A little thicker if you don't have the kickstand out. But I mean, no one's going to stop you from taking this on a cruise ship. I wouldn't worry about that fact. Is it worth it? Your mileage may vary. Here's the way I feel. I've done the breakdown. I have T-Mobile, and why I have T-Mobile is because T-Mobile gives me international data. Well, I pay for some T-Mobile lines, and also T-Mobile gives me hotspot all over the U.S. Well, I'm paying about $200 a month for 2 lines with international data and mobile hotspot. Why don't I just switch to an MVNO for $15 a month, have unlimited data in the U.S., and when I need hotspot, guess what I got? I've got Starlink. And when I'm going internationally, you know what I've got? I've got Starlink. You know what you don't get with Starlink? Yet. I'm going to say yet. You don't get the congestion that if you pull into St. Thomas, again, I know we're headed to Hawaii, but if you pull into St. Thomas, you know, the cell towers go dead because everybody's an American citizen that's getting off. Most people are American citizens that get off these cruise ships, and they just overwhelm the cell towers with all their cell phones. As of right now, there are 6,000 satellite dishes that are serving this little guy, which again, you do want to put out the kickstand to get the right angle, so I'll put the angle back. There are 6,000 satellite dishes serving that little guy. The service that I paid, the $250, I am on this ship, again, it's over $300 for 2 weeks, and then I'm on Mardi Gras and Mardi Gras and Celebration in balcony cabins next month. That's going to cost me well over $500 internet. And that's got it for me. And again, I do not share the bridge that I'm going to use this internet with. Do not share the bridge. That is for all the IT nerds, and I will not translate that shit. If you want to translate it in the comments and say, explain how I'm do not sharing the bridge, that might help you out, but you're going to need an Ethernet adapter or two and a MacBook Pro running stuff, but it's theories. And I put those theories into reality in the last few minutes. If you got questions other than about how to use it around the ship, because I'm not helping you there, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I will not be answering any questions about how to use it around the ship because I'd like that to stay for myself. Or talk to me in person. But it's complex. You got to be an IT guy to understand. This is Richard from No Pants Profits, literally coming to you in the middle of nowhere with this little satellite dish that strangely has to be pointed back that way to work, reminding you that when you wear no pants and you want fast internet, and there's a lifeboat right next door, the only thing you got left to lose is your shirt.